Hey, it's Chris. Welcome back to my channel. I'm filming this the day after the Super Bowl, and so it's Valentine's. So, go Rams! I mean, I've been a fan since they moved to LA, so that makes me really happy. And also, I hope you're having a great Valentine's Day. Now, today, yes, maybe it's a little late, but I don't care. I'm still giving it to you guys. I am listing off my favorite and least favorite films of the year. Well, I don't like to say it that way. My most disappointing films of the year. You know, there was a lot of movies that were supposed to come out in 2020 but didn't because, you know, Corona. And so they ended up being released this year. Or wait, last year, 2021. I mean, we got a lot of good film. This was a really good year for film. But as any year, there's movies that, you know, don't live up to the hype or, you know, are not your favorites to say the least. But in my opinion, the good outweighs the bad this year, so why not? Let's just get started. I'm going to start off with my most disappointing films of the year because why not end it on a happy note? And I just really never want to talk about these films ever again. So yeah, let's just get it out of the way. Oh boy. Alright, first film on the list, I have The Jungle Cruise starring Emily Blunt and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I was actually really excited for this film. I thought it would be like a really fun action thing, and it was enjoyable, but it was just like, it went through one year, went out the other. There was nothing memorable to this film, unfortunately. I mean, to be honest, that's my biggest gripe against it. It's not a bad film by any stretch of the imagination. It was just, I mean, there was just nothing really all that unique to it. I mean, Jesse Plemons was in there too, but honestly, not enough for me. I mean, Jungle Cruise, not a film I should spend a whole lot of time on, so yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Next up on the list, we have Mortal Kombat. I mean, we really thought we were finally getting a good Mortal Kombat movie, and unfortunately, we didn't. I mean, the action and violence and the gore and the fatalities, that was all cool and whatnot. Everything else, though, unfortunately, was not the greatest thing in the world. There was really nothing much to it. I mean, it felt like they were just trying to build up to a sequel, and wouldn't you know, that's exactly what they try to do, because we're getting a sequel, I don't know when, like next year, 2 years from now. I don't know, personally, I'm done. I mean, there was nothing there to like get me excited for a sequel, so whatever. I mean, the guy with the 4 arms looked really cool though, so at least it had good CGI and fight scenes, so yeah, whatever. Next on the list, we have Don't Breathe 2. Now, I was skeptical about this film. I really loved the first Don't Breathe. It was one of the better thriller/horror films I've watched in the past decade, that's for sure. Stephen Lang was fantastic in that film. And in this one, they try to make his character like a hero, like they give him a redemption arc and whatnot, and it just did not work at all. I mean, if you watch the first one, like Stephen Lang was literally like a monster. He was the villain. He was the horror icon villain monster of the film. I will never, ever, ever forgive him or be on his side. I mean, remember and watch the scene where he does something horrible to someone with a turkey baster thing, the thing that fills up the turkey with, I don't know what it's called. No! Why on earth would you try to make him a hero? I don't understand. It didn't work. It just really bothered me the entire film instead. I mean, even toss all that out of the way, it was just not compelling at all. I mean, the action wasn't all that great. I mean, it wasn't really a horror film. It was more like a thriller thing, and I had no thrills, so whatever. Don't Breathe 2. Disappointing. Next up on the list, we have The Conjuring 3. I mean, looking at this list, there's a lot of sequels, so I guess that just goes to show the state of sequels nowadays in Hollywood. Whatever. Conjuring 3. Oh boy, you really feel the loss of James Wan on this one. I mean, it just loses all its style and everything that made it The Conjuring, basically. So instead of like an actual evil entity, like a demon, devil, nun thing, I mean, we get like this satanic cultist lady who like puts a curse on people and whatnot. I mean, I don't know. For me, that just sort of lowered the stakes a bit. You know, having to face like an actual other human instead of like a devil demon thing. I don't know, it didn't work for me. I mean, like I said, it lost all its style. I mean, the thrills weren't there. The horror scares weren't there for me. If they ever decide to make a fourth one, please bring James Wan back. It's funny because later on in 2021, James Wan released his own horror film, Malignant, and ended up being better than then it ended up being better than the Conjuring 3. So please, if you ever do Conjuring 4, bring back James Wan. Enough of that, let's go on to the next film. And we have Space Jam 2. I mean, like, I feel like this is a film that I really don't need to explain, like, right? I mean, the thing that made the first Space Jam so likable and charming was just Michael Jordan having fun with the Looney Tunes. In this one, LeBron actually tried to act, and they actually tried to have a plot and a story and arcs and stuff. I mean, it just fell flat. I mean, LeBron, you know, he's not an actor. He tried his best, but I'm just gonna leave it at that. It felt like a big commercial for HBO Max's catalog. I mean, you saw like the Ice King in the background, you saw Pennywise, you saw all these famous iconic figures. I don't know, I feel like that's enough for Space Jam 2. I mean, not the best film of the year, that's for sure. Moving on, we have Black Widow. I mean, this film was just a decade too late. It should have been an origin story. It wasn't. It was a prequel to Infinity War. It was weird. I mean, Scarlett Johansson was great as always. Florence Pugh was awesome. Other than that, the villains were just so uncompelling. I mean, the battle scene at the end was nice. I don't know. I mean, it didn't really pack a punch because, you know, Natasha Romanoff dies literally months after the events of this film. I don't know, just really disappointed with it. Scarlett Johansson won her lawsuit for this film and she got paid nicely, so root for the actors. Good job on Scarlett Johansson. I mean, that means you'll probably never see her in the MCU ever again, but that's fine. At least she got her money. Moving on, we have Venom 2. Venom 2 felt like a 90-minute commercial for Venom 3. It was a very odd film. It felt like an 80s cartoon, kind of. Venom and Carnage don't even fight or meet up until the very end. Super odd choice, in my opinion. It was really bang, 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 but because it was really quick and whatever, you know, Carnage never really developed. I mean, there was, as like I said, they don't meet up until the very end. It's just like, well, these guys are fighting just because they're symbiotes and because action, Hollywood, explosions. I mean, Tom Hardy was great as always. Woody Harrelson, great as well. But other than that, I mean, they really just made this film to be like, hey, get ready for Venom and Spider-Man. So, I don't know. Venom 2, not the best film of 2021. Moving on. We have F9. I mean, F9, another one of these films. I mean, I really don't need to talk about or explain about this, right? They became way too self-aware in this one. I mean, you had like Ludacris saying like, we're gonna die. Then Tyrese Gibson is all like, nah, we're not gonna die because we have never died. We're Superman, we're Man of Steel, whatever. I mean, it's just like these winks to the camera. It was just way too much. It became way too ridiculous. I mean, they were literally in space, in like a space car thing. Too much, in my opinion. And we're getting 2 more of these films. We are getting 2 more. We are getting 2 more. We are getting 2 more. They split the finale into 2 films. So get ready for that. Personally, I'm done with this franchise. I'll just read like a spoiler review and just... I am interested in how it ends, but that I'm not watching it. I can't dedicate like 5 more hours to 2 more films. I mentally can't take it. So yeah, that's F9. Moving on, we have The Last Night in Soho. Now, this is directed by Edgar Wright, and that is one of the main reasons why I was excited for this film. Now, I'll give it this. This is a visually stunning film. Every shot in this film looks fantastic. I mean, it was so great. Anya Taylor-Joy was amazing in this one. I mean, I didn't know she could sing. I mean, she has a fantastic voice. She's great. And that's where the praise, unfortunately, ends. I mean, this film, while I was watching it, I mean, had so much potential. I realized it had so much potential to be something great and the plot to be something deep. Instead, they went down a predictable path, and it just was really disappointing. I thought the whole concept of being in modern times and going back to the 60s was really great, but didn't really do much to it. I mean, I knew the twist at the end by like the halfway mark of the film, so it was just really disappointing. I'll still look forward to Edgar Wright projects, but this one didn't do it for me. I mean, I wouldn't go watch it opening Thursday and the theater was packed. Everyone was as excited as I was, but you sort of felt the disappointment at the end. So, oh well. Last Night in Soho, one of my most disappointing films of 2021. Next on my list, I have Don't Look Up, the most divisive film of 2021, without a doubt, for sure. So I blame this one a little on me. I did it to myself, kind of. I didn't watch any trailer, I didn't watch any TV spot, I didn't even bother doing any of that because I was already sold. I mean, Adam McKay with probably the greatest cast ever assembled. I mean, you had Leonardo DiCaprio, Meryl Streep, The GOAT, Jonah Hill, Timothy Chalamet, Tyler Perry, I mean, Kate Blanchett. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. That was enough for me to be sold on the film. And then I actually watched it, and it ended up being like this satire, social commentary, comedy thing. I was expecting like a drama with like one of DiCaprio's best performances, working off of the GOAT Meryl Streep and Kate Blanchett sprinkled in there. But unfortunately, that's not what we got. I mean, some people don't like the quirky editing of Don't Look Up. I personally enjoy the quirky editing. I think it's pretty fun. Ariana Grande's in there too, so that was a nice little boost to the film for me, but ultimately not enough. I mean, Just Look Up isn't her best song either, so even the damn song of the film disappointed me. But I know this is literally split. You either love it or you don't, and I fall towards this end a little. Not my favorite film of the year, unfortunately. But moving on, we have House of Gucci, directed by Ridley Scott, starring Lady Gaga, Adam Driver, Al Pacino, Jared Leto, list goes on and on and on. This film missed on so many levels. I mean, you felt no stakes the entire film, and it's 2.5 hours long. The decision to kill Adam Driver's character at the end, I feel, is a mistake. They should have done it in the middle, and then the second half of the film just focus on the aftermath with Lady Gaga's character. Ridley Scott fumbled the bag. I mean, Jared Leto was doing his best impersonation of Mario. Gaga was the best part of the film. She was great. People are mad that she didn't make the best actress lineup. I personally would not have had her in my top 5. I mean, she was great, but that doesn't mean she delivered one of the best performances of 2021. Adam Driver has done better. I mean, just a disappointing film all around. I was so hyped, especially after watching the first trailer. I was sold. I watched it. It was the longest 2.5 hours of the year, not gonna lie. But enough of House of Gucci. I'll be talking about it all award season long, so let's just move on. Next on the list, we have Being the Ricardos. It's time. It is time. It's time that I finally explain why I am heavily critical of Being the Ricardos. The reason why I am not a fan of this film, to say the least, it is because it is the most Oscar bait film of the year. Now, what exactly is an Oscar bait film? It is a film that is made for the sole purpose to appeal to the Academy, and guess what? It worked because Javier Bardem, Nicole Kidman, and J.K. Simmons all got nominations at the Oscars this year. I mean, the thing about Oscar bait films is that there's just a whole lot of dialogue that sounds smarter than it actually is. There's usually just one standout performance. I mean, Javier Bardem in this was literally in there to boost Nicole Kidman. I mean, a lot of scenes where Javier Bardem and Nicole Kidman are together are shot in a way where Javier Bardem's back of the head is in the scene more than his actual face, and the camera focuses more on Nicole Kidman's face. I mean, I get it. It's Lucille Ball. I Love Lucy. People love that. But as you can tell, I was not around during that time, so I do not share that love for I Love Lucy. I've honestly never really watched an episode of I Love Lucy, so this film really did not resonate for me. And because it doesn't resonate with me, all I saw was an Oscar bait film. So yeah, this was a painfully average film. I mean, I guess the performances are great or good. I mean, Javier Bardem has done better. Nicole Kidman has done better. J.K. Simmons has done better. So, just one of the most disappointing films all around. And, okay, we're done with the most disappointing films. Thank goodness. I don't have to talk about them anymore. Whatever. Let's move on to a brighter spot in the universe. It is time to list off my favorite films of the year. I am so excited. I'm going to list off just the general films that I enjoyed, and then I'm going to list off my top 5 list. Now I have a pretty solid top 5 if I say so myself. I'm really excited to get to that, but I'm excited to talk about these films right now, so let's just get started. First on the list, I have The Suicide Squad, directed by James Gunn, starring Idris Elba, John Cena, Pete Davidson, Margot Robbie. I mean, this film was just so much fun. The violence, the comedy, the banter between John Cena and Idris Elba was gold. DC's best decision in years was bringing in James Gunn to direct this. You felt his style, you felt his presence, you felt the impact he had behind the camera for sure. Margot Robbie was fantastic as Harley Quinn as always. John Cena was so freaking good. So good that it warranted a freaking TV show. The Peacemaker TV show is amazing as well. James Gunn is like the creative director and directs some episodes in that show. It is so good. DC is hitting on all cylinders right now. I hope they can keep it up because their track record has been messy this past decade. Suicide Squad so good. I mean, we love King Shark. I want King Shark merch. I love him so much. He's so adorable. I mean, the prosthetics and makeup in this were amazing as well. Like, the polka dot guy was great. He looked amazing. The big starfish, Project Starfish alien thing was really funny as well. The rat lady who controls the rats, she was fantastic in this film. I mean, just such a good time. One of the best times I had watching the film. I watched it in theaters and on HBO Max multiple times. I love it so much. Suicide Squad, if you haven't watched it, please give it a shot. It is so good. Moving on, we have Free Guy. Another good time in the movies. It starts Ryan Reynolds, Jodie Comer, Channing Tatum makes a cameo, and Channing Tatum's cameo is mind-blowingly so good. He was so funny in this film. Everyone was so funny in this film. The action is really stylized. I mean, the whole plot of it is really charming and cute and amazing and fun. I love it so much. Taika Waititi is in this. He's really funny. The action is so good. People sleep on this film. Do not sleep on it. Free Guy is out on Disney Plus in a couple weeks. Please watch it when it does. It's one of the year's most entertaining films. I love it. It got nominated for Best Visual Effects at the Academy Awards. Deservedly so. It was so good. Everything about it, amazing. I loved it. I had such a good time with this film. So that's really all I have to say about Free Guy. So let's move on. Next up on the list, we have Parallel Mothers. This is Penelope Cruz's best performance of her career. It is probably the second best performance of the year. Mind-blowingly good. I mean, she displays more emotion looking into a camera screen than most actors do facing real people. I mean, it's mind-blowing. The actress who plays Anna in the film, Anna, whatever, fantastic as well. I mean, this story was heartbreaking. It was charming. It was heartwarming. It has a happy ending. The score, and the production design are so good. One of the year's best. It got nominated for Best Score at the Academy Awards. I love this film so much. I'm gonna go rewatch it actually later this week. It's so good. I have to rewatch it. If you guys have a chance, please go watch it. It is in Spanish, but you know, subtitles. And if you're a fluent Spanish speaker, you have no problem understanding this film. It's just so good. Penelope Cruz is fantastic. She's one of my favorite actors ever. And she shows you why in this film. So yeah, that's Parallel Mothers for me. Moving on. Next up on the list, we have Pig. Nicolas Cage's best performance of his career. Not even close. With Pig, it's best if I don't spoil anything because this is a dramatic and grisly film. Holy shit. I was not expecting anything from this film, but what I got was madness and Nick Cage's best performance ever. I mean, he was getting some love. I believe he made it to BAFTA long list, so he was recognized for his performance in the film. So good. You have to go watch it. Please, I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to talk about anything about this film. Please go watch it. It's on Hulu. That's all I have to say about Pig. Moving on. Next up on the list, we have The Mitchells versus The Machines, the best animated film of the year. It is so good. Katie Mitchell is my spirit person. She motivates me every damn day. Their pug in the film is so adorable. Oh my goodness, this film is from Phil Lord and Chris Miller, the same guys who brought you the Lego movie and Spider-Verse and who are bringing you the Minecraft movie. Oh my god, their animated films are the most unique things ever. I love them. They're so cute. They're so heartwarming. The messages and social commentary in the films are so damn good. I love it. Mitchells vs. the Machines, the best animated film of the year. It is so unique. I love it so much. I mean, they like poke fun of like Mark Zuckerberg and whatnot and Elon Musk and whoever one of these tech guys are. As always with these Phil Lord and Chris Miller films, the animation style is unique. It is fantastic. It is great. I love Mitchell so much. Please go watch it. I feel like no one I've talked to has watched it. It is on Netflix. Please go watch it right now. I love it so much. One of my favorite films of the year. Probably should have made my top 5, but actually no, my list is solid as it is. But Mitchell vs. the Machines, amazing. Please go watch it. Next up on the list, we have King Richard, Will Smith's best performance of his career. This film was so great. I mean, you're just rooting for the Williams family all the way. Anjanou Ellis delivers a fantastic performance as the mother. John Bernthal's in there. He's great as well. You know, the young actresses who play Serena and Venus and all the other sisters are amazing as well. I love this film so much. Now, what knocked it down a bit, for me at least, were the last 15 to 20 minutes of the film. So the entire focus of the film suddenly turns to Venus Williams, like tennis match, and it just sort of just takes you out of the film, honestly. Will Smith disappears for those 20 minutes, and it just focuses on her. Now, you might say, hey, this is also Venus Williams' story. Well, yeah, but this is literally Richard Williams' story. It is the damn title of the film. So taking Will Smith out for 15 to 20 minutes was just really odd for me. It's a feel-good story. It would have made my top 5 if it wasn't for that. But other than that, King Richard, honestly, can't really knock it down all that much. It's great. It's amazing. I love King Richard. Next up on the list, we have Drive My Car. Drive My Car, directed by Ryusuke Hamaguchi, is one of the year's best fucking films. Oh my god, I'm still mind blown that it got Best International Feature, Best Director, and Best Picture nominations at the Oscars. That is mind-blowing. You guys have no idea how mind-blowing it is. Drive My Car is so good. They took a 20-page short story and turned it into this 3-hour, methodical, philosophical masterclass of a film. The cinematography is amazing. This is the best screenplay of the year. You will see some of the best performances of the year as well in this film. I mean, there's a moment in this film where like this character is like reading off a story that is written by another character in the film, and the stuff that's going on in the story correlates with what's going on in his real life, and it reveals like a shocking thing. And I was alone in the theater and I was like mind blown. I was like shaking in my seat. It was so good. Drive My Car is one of the best films I have watched in recent memory. It is an indie film. It is 3 hours. It is Japanese. It is a slow burn, but that does not take anything away from this film. It is fantastic. One of the year's best. So if a theater near you is playing it, please don't waste the opportunity. Go watch it. You will not regret it. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but I think people will still enjoy it. Next up on the list, we have Tick, Tick, Boom! I love Tick Tick Boom so much. This is probably Andrew Garfield's best performance of his career. Actually, he did Hacksaw Ridge, so I don't know. But still one of his best performances of his career. He is so damn good as John Larson. Andrew Garfield is already unbelievably attractive and hot. And guess what? He sings too. He just reached another level. He is untouchable now. Andrew Garfield was so damn good in this film. Sings, dances, acts, cries, laughs, everything. Every range in the spectrum of emotion he does in this film. Andrew Garfield is a fantastic actor. Ruben De Jesus was so damn good in this as well. MJ Rodriguez was so damn good in this film too. Vanessa Hudgens was in this film. Now, she was kind of barely in it. I mean, she only sings like 1 or 2 songs as well, so that's disappointing, but she was still good nonetheless. I mean, the soundtrack and score to this film, the soundtrack was so good. I still listen to it till this day. The song 3090 is so damn good. I sing along to it at least once a day for sure. It is so good. Lin-Manuel Miranda directed this. He is so damn good. Put him on your radar. He writes some of the best musical songs you'll find out there for sure. So good. Tick Tick Boom deserved to be nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars, but didn't happen. Oh well, whatever. We can still sit back and appreciate it. If you haven't watched it, it's on Netflix. Get on that right now. Next up on the list, we have the first of 2 Marvel films. The first one is Shang-Chi and the Legend of 10 Rings. Oh my goodness, Shang-Chi was so good. This did not feel like a Marvel film until the last 15 minutes, but still, this did not feel like a Marvel film. The whole storyline between Sean and his father, the whole drama between that is so good. It's something you've never seen in a Marvel film. This is the best Marvel film, honestly, ever, probably. I mean, the only competition it has for me is like the first Iron Man. And, you know, the Infinity War films don't really count. That's just on a different league. But this is definitely one of the best standalone Marvel films out there. Simu Liu's performance is so good. He is so good. I can't wait for the sequels. I can't wait to see more of him. I mean, he has such a bright future. So damn good. Michelle Yeoh was in this. She was great as well. Awkwafina was so damn good. The CGI was really great, especially the dragon at the end, which to me also knocked down the film for me a bit. I mean, Marvel has to throw in the big battle sequence or else it's not a Marvel film, I guess. I mean, I feel like they can do a Marvel film without explosions and action and mind-blowing stuff, but that's neither here or there, but whatever. Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings, one of the best Marvel films I've ever watched, for sure. And next on the list, we have Spider-Man No Way Home, the damn fucking fever dream. This film is not real. I don't believe it. Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, Tom Holland, Alfred Molina, Willem Dafoe, Jamie Foxx were all in this film. I can't believe this happened. I really can't believe. I mean, especially because they brought back the Amazing Spider-Man stuff that bombed. I really can't believe this happened. I mean, this film is just on a different league. I mean, this has been 20 years in the making. I cannot believe we got a live-action Spider-Verse film. Really, like, this film is an event. It's not a movie. This is an event. Everyone and their mother went to go watch this. My grandma went to go watch this. It's a cultural reset. It is a moment in time that we will never forget. You will remember what theater you were in when you watched Spider-Man No Way Home. I can't believe this happened. There's really not much else I have to say. I mean, the scope was just so grand. You can't really even judge this film on its own. It is so damn amazing. It is the film and fan event of a lifetime. That's all I have to say about Spider-Man No Way Home. I don't even have to recommend it because everyone has probably watched it. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Spider-Man No Way Home. Okay, it is time. It is time for my top 5 list. Now, I know it says top 5, but I actually have 6 films on this. You're about to see why. Without further ado, let's get started. Number 5 on my list, I have Cmon Cmon, directed by Mike Mills, starring Joaquin Phoenix and Woody Norman. Oh my goodness, this movie was so damn good! It was not recognized at award shows and it pisses me off. This is the second best looking film of the year. It's in black and white. The cinematography was so crisp and amazing. The black and white was so fucking good. Joaquin Phoenix and Woody Norman delivered performances of their lifetimes. They are so good in this film. I mean, this is a feel-good story that's also coming of age. It's not only coming of age story for Woody Norman, it is also a coming of age story for Joaquin Phoenix's character. I mean, Woody Norman feels like an actual real kid. Joaquin Phoenix actually feels like a clueless uncle. It is so good. And at the end, they both reconcile and they end up loving each other. Joaquin Phoenix's character matures, so does Woody Norman's character. Some of the best performances you'll watch all year. It is so good. Cmon Cmon. It made my top 5. I mean, it pulls your heartstrings, makes you laugh. It is so good. So heartwarming, so charming. What else is there to say about Cmon Cmon? Number 4 on the list, we have The Worst Person in the World. Oh my god, this film was so damn good. I don't know how to pronounce the lead actress's name, but I do know how to pronounce her first name, Renati. She was so damn good in this film. Oh my goodness, one of the best performances of the year. She deserved to be in that best actress lineup at the Oscars, but she wasn't there. But this was nominated for Best Original Screenplay, and it so deserved it. This movie, man, this movie was so good. I mean, it makes you look at your past relationships, like even current relationships, differently. The social commentary is so damn good in this film. The feminism they sprinkled in there, you love to see it. That was just a big cherry on top for me. You get some of the year's best performances. This story is funny. It is heartbreaking. It is everything in between. This is the best romantic comedy drama I have ever watched. I really will say that. I can confidently say that. It is that damn good. You guys have to go watch it. It has officially received a wide release. Please go watch it. It is playing in theaters near you. It is a foreign film, but come on, just read the subtitles. It is one of the year's best films. It is one of the best films I personally have seen in recent memory. It is so damn good. I'm gonna go rewatch this film this week for sure. I mean, it's some of the best cinematography. I mean, was this shot on film? I don't think so. It looks like it though. Great soundtrack, great everything, man. I mean, Renati, beginning of the film, she was quite literally the worst person in the world, and she comes out of it being one of the best persons in the world. So quite a turnaround. It's a coming of age story. It's a feel good story. You're gonna love it. That's all I really have to say about The Worst Person in the World. At number 3, we have CODA. Oh my god, I loved CODA. Emilia Jones delivers probably the best performance of the year. She is so damn good. She put in so much work into this character. She had to learn American Sign Language. She had to learn how to sing. The last scene in this film was so powerful. It made me cry. Troy Kotsur was amazing. He is deaf in real life. He is deaf in the film. He is so amazing in this film. I mean, you're just rooting for the family. You're just rooting for Emilia Jones' character. And guess what? She comes out on top at the end of the film, and you just love to see it. This is a feel-good story with some of the best performances you're gonna watch this year. I mean, you just feel the passion behind the making of this film. It's on Apple TV Plus. You must watch it if you have Apple TV Plus right now. CODA is so good. I mean, people might call it cheesy. How dare they? How dare they? This is such a good film. CODA, I mean, the only knock against it for me is like the cinematography was kind of bland. There was nothing special to it. Other than that, CODA so good. I love it so much. It made me cry, it made me laugh, made me everything in between so good. That's all I have to say about CODA. It's mind-blowingly good. At number 2, we have Spencer, directed by Pablo Larraín, starring Academy Award nominee Kristen fucking Stewart. Oh my god, this film was so fantastic. It contains the year's best production design, the year's best score. It is so damn good. Everyone hates on it and such a shame. I'm not gonna go too deep into this film because you've been hearing me ramble about this film since the start of this channel. You all know Kristen Stewart delivered the year's best performance in this, and it shows because guess what? She got nominated at the damn Oscars. I'm planning on making like a deep dive, in-depth review about Spencer and looking into why a lot of people hate it, why in a couple years we'll look back on it and appreciate it more, why it's so fantastic. But for the time being, that's all I have to say about Spencer. I mean, I have the damn VHS of it. That's all I have to say. That just shows how much I love this film. I've watched it maybe 10 times. It is so damn good. I'm looking forward to what Pablo Larraín has in store. I'm looking forward to Kristen Stewart's next performance because guess what? She is one of the world's elite actors now. Yep, that's Spencer. Second best film of the year. And here's where the interesting thing happens. At 1B, number 1 letter B, I have Titane, directed by Julia Ducournau. Holy shit, Titane was a mind-fuckingly blowing film. I mean, does that even make sense? It is like a film that'll rock your socks off. On first viewing, this film was just like a shocking experience. It was mind-blowing. But after my second viewing, I mean, you go deep into the film. It has the year's best social commentary. It goes into gender roles, sexuality, homophobia, everything. It is so good. I mean, if you can stomach gore and violence, this film will rock your world. It really will. I've shown a couple friends this film and they all ended up liking it at the very least. So go watch Titane. This is a film that you want to go clean into. You want to know nothing about this film. Seriously, it is like amazing. If you watch the trailers, you know nothing about the film. It gives you nothing. There's a good reason behind that. You want to go into this film cold. That is the best way to watch this film. Titane, the year's best film. I'm going to say it. This is the year's best film overall. Seriously, it really is. Julia Ducournau is one of my favorite filmmakers. She made Raw, which was also fantastic. She's just so good at speaking to society. She's so good at Gauche. The cinematography in this was mind-blowing. The soundtrack was so good. The score was great. The performances from Vincent and Agatha were, oh my god, so good. I mean, apparently Julia Ducournau found Agatha on Instagram. She was like a not known actor, and guess what? Now she blew up. This film won the Palme d'Or at Cannes. I mean, what more do I have to say about this film? It is the best film of the year. I couldn't decide between this next film which one was my favorite film of the year, and so I decided to make Titane 1B. It's basically 1, but not really because it's tied with another film. So let's move on to 1A. I'm getting dizzy talking so long. Number 1, letter A. It is Dune, directed by Denis Villeneuve. Dune is the most beautiful, most mind-blowing, most technically impressive film I have literally ever watched. Seriously. And Denis Villeneuve has directed some of the most beautiful films you will ever watch with Blade Runner 2049, the greatest sequel ever. and Sicario. No, everything in this film looks real. All the visual effects, these are the best visual effects I have ever seen since, honestly, Blade Runner 2049. Denis Villeneuve is one of my best filmmakers ever and out right now. And it is why it pisses me the fuck off that he did not get nominated for Best Director at the Oscars. How the fuck did he miss? I mean, the Academy thinks this film was directed on its own. Guess what? No, it wasn't. This film stars Timothée Chalamet, Rebecca Ferguson, Oscar Isaac, Jason Momoa. The list goes on and on and on and on. They were all so good. They delivered amazing performances. The costumes in this were amazing. Rebecca Ferguson's dress was so good. The makeup was amazing. It should win the Oscar for Best Makeup. For the Baron alone, the makeup on the Baron was mind-blowing. Everything about this film was so good. I have no gripes against it. Seriously, it is one of the best films I have watched in my years of living, basically. I mean, the score by Hans Zimmer is one of the year's best. It is probably second best behind Spencer. It is going to win the Oscar for Best Score. I mean, if you read Dune, you know that there's a lot of backstory and lore to the Dune book, and it's just so impressive to see Denis Villeneuve finally was able to translate a good Dune film onto the screen. Dune is just fantastic. I cannot wait for Dune 2. If Dune 1 was mind-blowing, Dune 2 will rock the world. It seriously will. Dune 2 will be like Lord of the Rings, like the second one. It'll win like Denis Villeneuve the Oscar, just how I want Peter Jackson the Oscar Best Director for that film. Oh my god, I mean, Dune is just mind-blowing. It really is. I mean, that's really all I have to say about Dune. Totally my favorite film of the year. Dune is so good. People still haven't watched it. How? It's on Redbox. Please go watch it. I mean, it's on HBO Max. I don't know. It's on Redbox. I saw it the other day on Redbox. Please go rent it. Dune is fantastic. You will not regret it. I mean, one thing I hear is that Dune has no story. Guess what? It doesn't. Let me explain to you really fast. House Atreides was sent to the Sand World, I forgot the name, to harvest spice by the Emperor. But guess what? The Emperor set them up. And guess what? House Atreides ends up being attacked by the Harkonnens, and they all died. So now him and his mother must go find the Furmans to get their help. And boom, that's where the story ends. Timothée Chalamet's character, Paul Atreides, basically proves that he can handle himself and he is capable of becoming the chosen one. And that's where Dune 2 will pick off. Dune is so freaking good. Please don't sleep on it. You're gonna regret it. My first time viewing this film was on like the big ass IMAX screen at the AMC Universal. It was one of the most, my jaw was dropped literally the entire time. I wish someone was recording me. I was literally jaw dropped. It was fantastic. My mind was blown. Dune, so good. One of the year's best. Please don't sleep on it. Please go watch it right now. But yeah, that wraps up my most disappointing films and favorite films of the year. I mean, not to brag, I feel like I had a pretty good fucking top 5 list. This is really fucking solid now that I'm looking at it. Maybe Drive My Car could have been in there, but honestly, I love these top 5 too much. I couldn't let any of them slip. I mean, I would love to know what your guys' favorite films of the year were, or most disappointing films of the year were. So please comment down below. I would love to interact with you guys. It's really fun interacting with you guys. I know I haven't been active in the comments, but I will. Trust me, I've just been trying to get into this whole YouTube thing, trying to get into a groove. I had so much fun making this movie. So if you enjoyed, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share to all your friends and family. Please go watch all the films I recommended. So I'm filming this on Valentine's Day, so I hope you had a great Valentine's Day. Go Rams, you guys deserved it. Watch out for my next video, which will be my most anticipated films of 2022. That's gonna be a really fun video. And yeah, I think that's all I really have to say. So stay safe, guys. Have a great day. And do you want to be a Ricardo?